All right.
Will be.
Get that. Are we good?
Does the
Yeah,
University of Oklahoma kind of like runs this?
it's in correlation with a bunch of different people. Hello, everybody. Sorry, guys, I didn't mean to tell you. And thanks for joining us for week 2. No, you're good. For the Seiko Summer Special, and joining us tonight, we have from the I'm butchering your name, from the Goon Gang, Luke, and from You Had Us at Paunch, Lotus Blossom. Guys, how's it going?
Going good.
All right, how's the split treating you guys so far?
Good. I haven't played in a few years, but it's good to actually play seriously again because I haven't moved up since I played. Like I got like much better when I was playing, and then I stopped. I didn't play it for 2 years, and now I'm like the worst I've ever been.
Worst you've ever been in? You're playing in gold. I mean, what does that say about the competition? Do you think you're better or worse than the competition you're at right now?
Like my potential or like currently?
Currently.
I'd say I'm pretty average. I mean, I've played. I mean, some of the people in this that I've played is just like as a jungler. There's so much. Like I feel like there's just so much pressure because the junglers are really good in this league that I've played against.
Little nod to the junglers. We'll take that. Lotus Blossom, how's it going for you guys this split?
Well, we're keeping an exact 50% win rate, so at least we're basically a coin flip at this point.
500.
Not too bad. We got completely stomped in our last game. We played like crap, and my team is still trying to figure out just exactly what we're trying to do, what's our identity, and I think we have an idea. So you guys might see something pretty spicy next week.
Okay. Awesome. Well, that's great. And also joining us tonight, I was supposed to join us last week, and so you guys and you guys in Paunch and RK Hostega should be hopping in here. You had us in Paunch and RK Hostega. You guys are great competitors, and I know you guys will keep it completely clean. This is a G-rated. This is a Christian family stream, guys. Okay? I'm kidding. We'll see what happens. Hostega, thanks for joining us. You guys got the stream going in there if you guys can see the screen and everything. And Hostega is supposed to be here last week. You have your power rankings ready tonight, and you're going to defend yourself. But Hostega asked these guys, asking you, how's the split going for ROK, the split?
Man, the split is going splendidly. We are out there. We're kicking some anus and taking names.
All right. Well, we do have a couple of changes in the logos here tonight. I think there's just 2 changes. Redemption Esports did send us a brand new logo. You didn't see that. And I would like to issue a formal apology to Dogmar Gaming. I did not have their logo last time. Now I have their logo. This high quality logo of Dogmar. There are, some rumors out there that this is actually what Dogmar looks like. It's still out in the, don't know if that's really what it is or not, but this may be Dogmar. So if you playing against Dogmar, you may toss him a bone, toss him a treat, try and distract him. But right now, we're going to hop right into our rankings for week 1. Our rankings, week 1 recap, and get into week 2. And in gold last split, we had Spawn Point taking out the Mingos version 2.0, Rivals taking out the Spank Boys, and the Goon Gang taking out Reign of Kings Armageddon. And Luke, how did that series go for you guys?
It was actually really well early game, and it took us a little bit to close it, but honestly, it was easier than I expected. I figured that Reign of Kings in my mind was way up there in terms of like top 3 probably.
I mean, Reign of Kings, that is kind of the new branch off. What we've seen in the last few splits is the Mingos and Reign of Kings and a few others have kind of created gold versions of their plat things. And Hostega, since we've got you in here, what changes do you think the Armageddon version of you guys is going to be making for this week?
Well, honestly, a third, or no, I take that back. 60% of our team quit after that series. So apparently you played some mental warfare, some psychological warfare on our team because they just imploded.
I apologize.
So, I mean, I knew going into the season they weren't going to be as strong as dominant as our plat team normally is, but I also didn't expect them to just completely implode after losing 2 series. So
wild.
We have a new captain, and he's trying to get some people together. So hopefully we can keep playing in gold capped. But nice job, apparently. I mean, you just you destroyed them to the point where
so,
they just quit the league.
So Luke,
That
what does that do for your ego when you hear something like that? When you hear that
honestly,
you guys made
like
another
just
team
getting
quit?
the win boosted our team's confidence going into this
Oh,
because I was telling
jeez.
them like back when I played on Omega Wolves and RKO,
Oh man.
man, it was rough every week. It was rough, and it definitely gave us some confidence going into at least the next couple weeks.
I mean, Lotus. I mean, you're on here too. What would you do for you guys if you guys played a team and then they all quit the game after? Like you're responsible for a team quitting. What would that do for you guys?
It's funny because I've actually had that happen to me, right? So I used to play in Phoenix Rising, and we played against this team, and they had 3 different players on the enemy team who were all like Diamond Plus, like basically smurfing in plat on like a plat team.
Mm-hmm.
We completely like destroy these guys, and they just like end up quitting the league because I mean, one, they got found out that like 3 of them were diamond, and I think the ADC just had his mental broken because he got beaten by like a sub for me that was like silver.
Wow.
Oh man,
That'll do it.
I would quit too, bro.
That'll do it.
Well, then you got a question. Well, how did you really get to Diamond Plus? What was how did you really get there? Somebody carry you? What was the story there? But looking at week 2, almost all the games have been played so far. Random Kings still trying to deal with the randomness of last split. So Spawn Point got the win here. Mingos V2 was able to pull it out and get on top of Spank. I'm not questioning my wording from that. And then the Rivals going up against Goon Gang, and I've actually got Goon Gang over Rivals. And Luke, what do you guys think about going to this game? Am I right in my assumption? Do you guys think you'll be able to take out Rivals, or what do you think is going to happen here?
Very much appreciate it. Going into it, I actually have Rivals top 2 in my predictions, and Spawn Point on 1.
Ooh, okay.
And Spawn Point, we scrimmed them, and I'm not gonna lie to you, they absolutely shredded us. Like it was not close. So I had to get them at number 1. If there's a team better than them, I would happily give them so much props. But I'm going into Rivals. The Rivals game, we're all really excited. We got some new picks to take out, so that's fun. Everyone's been trying new champions, so hopefully expanding our pool and making it harder to ban out because few of our players going into it have kind of recently only switched from playing a few champions, let alone maybe one. So,
well, cool. And I'll take that as a reminder to just remind everybody watching that is playing in the league that all the OPGGs are updated. So if you're on the side doing scouting, whatever, please make sure to check the league updates, looking at the side, make sure everybody's OPGGs are there. They have been updated. And also as a reminder, just because the ADC is listed as ADC doesn't mean they have to play ADC. They just have to be in LCS order. So, and we've had this happen before when somebody lines up as ADC, but they end up playing jungle or something. They pull a little switcheroo on them. I understand that people have done that. We've had people trying to say, well, they didn't play the position they were lined up in. You just got to be in LCS order. Doesn't mean you necessarily have to play in that if you're trying to switch it. So just bear that in mind when you guys are going forward. And it's good that you mentioned power rankings because now, Luke, you get to defend yourself here. So number 1, you've got Spawn Point. Number 2, you've got Rivals. Number 3, Goon Gang. Number 4, Mingos V2. Reign of Kings 5th. And then Spank Boys as 6. And so, Luke, defend your list you've got here.
All right. Well, going off of number 1, I've already said that if there's a team better than Spawn Point, I will be very surprised. Like they played out of their mind just in scrim. So when they play in a real game, I'll have to see the stream coming up. I put Rivals at number 2 only because when the Spawn Point, I think the captain actually put Rivals above them. So, that was kind of like insinuating that they're pretty good. And I haven't really checked out many people's recent games and stuff like that, but I did check out Mingos V2 and Rivals because we're playing both of them the next couple weeks. Mingos V2 definitely seems very good. I was very hesitant to put them under us, but I have confidence going into the next couple weeks, and I think we can pull out some surprises, be the new team that people didn't see coming.
No, I mean, and I put you guys lower because previously there was another Goon-related team that was here, and I thought it was a lot of those guys that were still there. But it's the Goon Squad, I think is who it was, that have been here for the last 2 splits. And like those guys, a good group of guys, they broke my heart every time. Every time I rooted for those guys, I was like, "You guys got this," and they just didn't. And so when I saw the Goon Gang pop up, I was like, I don't know if I'm gonna hop on board, but I mean, you guys seem to have got it together now. So I'm like, I could get behind this. This could be a team that I could see could actually rival some teams in gold now.
Hey, I appreciate it.
And so for my own, kind of similar, I got Spawn Point, you guys are second, Rivals third, Reign of King, Mingos, and Spank Boys. I think we're pretty much the last three are roughly there, maybe a little bit of swapping around going on. We'll see what happens with you guys and Rivals. I'm hoping, you guys may be slightly a bit of the underdogs here, but, I'm hoping you guys can pull it out and really stick to them and shake things up a little bit. Historically, Spawn Point and Rivals have been some of the top teams in gold. And they've been fun teams to watch. They always bring a lot of exciting games when we see those guys play. So hopefully you guys will be able to pull it out and do just as well. And then moving on next is going to be Platts and Lotus Blossom. Defend yourself in Sentinel.
All right. Okay, so in Sentinels, I don't really know a lot about them.
That's fair enough.
I've scouted their OPGGs. I haven't seen any games from them. Nothing from just like word of mouth from other people about these guys. From what I saw, MG Mercs kind of looked like the best all-around team. Like they looked like they were a pretty solid squad, like good win rates, like their champion pools look good. I had a pretty rough time picking between them and Mingos for first place, but I gave them Mercs first place over them because they just looked more rounded out. Dons and DBG, I thought either or could be third or fourth. They both look like pretty much the same team. And then there's PMF and then Ergatum. I've seen them before. I'm pretty sure I actually saw them in Phoenix Rising, and I think they quit. So that tells you anything about them.
Yeah, Ergatum has been here for I think 2-3 splits now, and they usually, and this is what they've done. They'll lose a couple of first games early, then they'll get it together, and they'll come back, and they'll make a playoff run every time that they've made it. The Mingos, I will tell you, is another team that I really like. There's some light, friendly roasting going back and forth between me and them, and these guys have made playoffs, come through with like a tier 1, tier 2 team usually every time, but every time they get to playoffs, I don't know what happens, but they have yet to finish in first or second place. It's usually third place is where these guys finish at, but good group of guys, hoping they can really pull it out. This split, would love to see those guys get a number 1, number 2 win if they're able to, but they always, I don't know if it's a mental thing, whatever, but every time, like clockwork, playoffs comes around, it just implodes, but they're a good team to watch.
You know what happens, right? They get seeded against ROK. That's what happens. That's why they drop.
All right. We got you in a second, Hastega. You hold on, buddy. You got your own list to go to. And Lotus here. What do you got for Ruination?
Okay, so for first place, I have Reign of Kings. I mean, these guys are really, really good. Like, I mean, they completely just shit stomped us in their game against us. Like, I mean, it could be like, oh yeah, our first game, lag, whatever. But no, I mean, we played bad. They played really, really well. Like, they group well as a team. They play side lanes well. We kind of just had no idea what to do against them like that. I mean, they played very, very, very smart. Second and third, I had it between my team. You had me at Poncho, and then there was Redemption. I think Redemption, they look like a really good team, and I think they could definitely beat us. Same with Lamp. I think Lamp could beat us as well, but I think our team is just a tiny bit better. Our team looks more well-rounded out than Lamp's does. I mean, like, they have their Plat 1 ADC, and I think they have a Plat 1 jungler. I think they have Yeet Loaf. I've played against them before.
I think you... Oh, sorry, go ahead.
Oh, go ahead. You can go ahead.
No, go for it.
Oh, yeah. Fifth, I had a DMG. I didn't really know too much about them. I mean, they didn't, I was looking at their OPGGs and stuff. Obviously, they didn't look super good. And then sixth, I have Vengeance, because aren't they the team, they have the silver ADC, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, if I lose against that ADC, if I lose lane, you will not see me again. I'll change my name.
That's fair enough. And I mean, we've had that in there was actually a diamond team. You were talking about losing to players. There was a diamond team that I think one split had either a silver or bronze support player, but it was a group of guys that have played together. And everybody was like, "Oh, the bronze guys, he's smurfing whatever, and it was a new account, whatever." It wasn't, but the group was just used to playing together, and they knew how to play around the map and then carry the bronze support. And it worked well for them until they got to a team that was full diamond. They knew how to deal with that, and then they got ran over. So I mean, it was kind of that same thing. You had these other diamond support players getting beat out from this bronze, silver support player, and it was really the rest of the team that was just kind of carrying them. But you got a ADC, which is more of a carry position. So yeah, that's something that I think would probably
it's a little bit harder to try to carry somebody who's supposed to be a primary carry.
Now Hastega, what would you change here? What changes would you make here to Sentinel if you had to change this up?
Well, I'm a dumbass and didn't do it by division. I just have like a flat 12-1. Yeah.
All right.
If you want to hear that.
So who do you got? Hold on, we'll just change this on the fly. All right, so who do you got number 1?
Okay. So in first, I have Reign of Kings, reigning champions. I don't see a team that's created I just don't see a world where we even drop a game this split.
Right.
For number 2, I have Lamp, who is five players that were all diamond, so if they don't get second, they're kind of trolling, I think. And I know them well. They have Randy shot calling, and this team should be well rounded. Okay. So third, I have Mingos. I mean, they're just insane when they play together, and sometimes they'll throw you off. Which they beat us in regular season a couple splits ago, and they never let that go. So you can't sleep on them. 4, I have Redemption, because they mechanically look strong if you just like scout their roster. They just look like they probably have strong players, and that will carry you in plat, 5, I have Poncho. We just played them in the first game. We got super trolled. Both teams did by lag. So I'm excited to play them second round. I think they'll be a lot stronger. Yeah. Number 6, I have MGM. Nothing to really say, just what I came up with for them after scouting. 7, I have DMG, Dogmar, or Delmar Gaming, whatever they're going by this season. I think that
changes around a bit.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Vengeance, number 8, or right after Dogmar.
Okay.
PMF, Pigs Might Fly, number 9.
Ooh, 10 disrespect for PMF coming.
Well, it's a totally different roster than last season. I didn't see a single returning face.
No, I mean, I remember when Pigs Might Fly. I mean, they had a solid team together. I mean, even splits ago. So, I mean, it's just kind of interesting to see how they've gone from this top tier team to just they've slowly kind of dropped down a little bit. It'd be good to see some of the original faces come back to try and carry them up. But, I mean, things are what they are.
Yeah. I mean, after playoffs last season, I think like 3 of the guys left the server completely. They just like were gone. Number 10, I have Ergatum. I don't know these guys at all, but they just didn't look very strong. Number 11, I have Dons. And 12, DBG, which I think was Dude Bro Gaming or something.
Gaming.
I like the name, but they just looked really weak.
All right, well, I mean, interesting lineup. I mean, some of these we may be looking at, some playoff positions here. So we're basically looking at ROK and MGM would be the ones that would make the playoffs for Plat, and then everyone else would just kind of fall off after that. So, I mean, it'd be interesting to see what happens there. Now for my own 4 rankings here. Man, do I got this right? No, this is my rankings here. Yep, this is it. All right, so I got Dogmark Gaming number 1, Vengeance number 2. You had me at Paunch number 3. I think these guys have a chance to turn it around. Lamppost and ROK 5th. I'm just, you guys are gonna fall off your horse, Hastega. And then Redemption Esports. We'll see what happens here. What kind of goes on in this conference. Ruination. If I had to be honest, I think Ruination is a little bit of a stronger conference than Sentinel. So I think you guys do have a lot more going on. I'm expecting a lot more competition to come out of this one. And then in the Sentinel, I've got Dud Bro Gaming number 1, MG number 2, Ergon number 3, Pigs My Fun. The Donzers here at 5th. And then again, I think there's some good teams here. I think this is a little bit easier conference for some of these teams than Ruination, but we'll see what happens. As teams, as Ponch, as Lotus, as you kind of said, early on, you're kind of getting on board together, kind of working things out. And you guys may have noticed that Mingos aren't here. I've got Mingos and Iron underneath Vids, Vandals, and Glitters Guild. Mingos third place in Iron. This is where I think these guys are going to end up at. So Mingos third place in Iron. Then we'll see what happens to these guys as the splits goes on. If they're able to climb themselves kind of out of there. Now for last split or last week, ROK, you guys took out Lamppost. Redemption Esports took out Vengeance. Had me at Paunch. You guys were able to take out Dogmar Gaming. Pigs My Fly lost to Dud Bro Gaming. MG Mercenaries took out Donzers, and Mingos took out Ergotum Academy. Then this week, Reign of Kings, you guys took out... Wait a minute. I don't have the same thing, did I? No, I did not. Reign of Kings, you guys were able to take out Punch. Redemption, I've got picked over Dogmar. I've got Lamppost picked over Vengeance. Mercenaries over Pigs My Fly. Mingos and Ergotum already got theirs out of the way. And then Lotus and Hostega, what do you guys think is any difference in the predictions here?
I think my predictions are around the same. I think Reign of Kings is still, their team is very, very strong, and until, somebody can actually figure out what the fuck to do against them, I think they're just going to kind of steamroll everybody.
Yeah, I think that I have no opinion on the Ergotum versus Donzer one. I think those are two of the weakest teams. Lamppost is playing with the sub this week, so we'll see if that affects them. But I still think Lamppost will win too. But yeah, everything lines up. I don't think Mingos will drop against a team on their side. They have the much easier bracket as usual.
I'm kind of glad that they split you guys up again in the split. Actually, you guys and Paunch, because I think the three of you guys are going to end up going into playoffs. It'll be interesting to see what going past the usual split, going directly into playoffs is going to look like. Though regardless, I think the Mingos would still make it the playoffs, but it'll just be interesting to see what all these teams, from the I forget what you guys are called, from the Ruin Nation Conference are going to be able to do. How many of these teams are going to make it to the top? And then from Sentinel, we'll make it there. But I definitely know that, Mingos will climb their way out of Iron and will be able to make their way there. And now that we're going on to the skin version, the skin portion of our segment here, we're changing things up a bit. Instead of saying, hey, these are good, these are bad, we're just going to start calling it hot or not, is what we're calling these things. Okay. And so right now, you guys had and lots of you guys had the God skins, the Coven skins, the new Lunar skins, and the Dark Star skins, and Luke Hostega, they said that these were good skins. They like these, and so do you guys agree with these? That these are good skins or not so good skin lineups?
I think these are actually really good skin lineups. I really like the God King lineup, definitely.
I like them all except for Dark Star. I'm not a huge fan of the Dark Star ones.
Well, I will say that the Coven skins are probably one of my favorites, so I'm like, that's great. The Dark Star skins have kind of, I've been really Rex has kind of won me over on these just because of one Zeroth hasn't got one in a while on that, and so I kind of go with them on that. But I do got to say that the God skin and the Lunar skin, no, you guys are wrong. Those are not hot. So,
damn.
Sorry, Lotus.
Objectively wrong on that.
That's super unfortunate.
Then the next tier, you guys had the Project skins, and I didn't even know what these were. These were the Crime City skins, Mecha skins, and then I always forget what these are called.
Space Groove
skins.
Yeah.
You guys said that you guys actually hated these skin lineups. And Hostega, Luca, what do you guys think on these?
Space Groove is amazing. The other
I love the Space Groove and the Crime City ones, but Project ones, I don't know. I mean, I think they're just as cool as the old Project ones, like Project Dash. I mean, I still think Project Dash is probably better than most of the newer Project ones.
The only skin we really liked from the new Project ones was the Project Mordekaiser one. Like, that was one we were all like, yeah, that's a good skin, and all the rest of them were kind of like, these are just like bread and butter. Like, there's nothing really nice about these.
I'm on board. I'm on board for most of these. Like, I don't like some of these. I think the Groove one, the Space Groove one is fun. The Crime City one, I don't know if that really speaks crime to me. It just seems more like a fantasy, different version of the characters. So for pretty much all these, with the exception of Mordekaiser, I mean, I'm gonna agree that all these. That's just it for those. Then down here on, I think this was now Luke. This is what you guys had. You guys had the Battle Academia. Somebody said all of Katarina.
Oh,
No. They said they absolutely hated all of Katarina. And then the Battle Academia one was, mainly Katarina at Battle Academia. And you have to love Scuba Gragas.
I do. I think Scuba Gragas is great, and anybody on your team that doesn't like him, they're wrong. They're dead wrong.
Yeah, well, listen, I'm gonna ask them after this if they're not watching, and if they don't like it, I'm sorry, but we're gonna have to find a new position.
Yeah, I mean, Scuba Gragas, I think it's a fun skin. It's one of the more unique skins that you wouldn't imagine they would have in the game. It's a fun skin. Katarina, I will say, yeah, I can't stand Katarina skins either. Any of them.
Weird elbows.
And then I will say pretty much all the Battle Academia I can't stand either.
Yeah, that was one of the things our team, when I was like, hey, what skin lines do you guys hate? And like literally every single one of them was just a Battle Academia. Hate it.
It's less Battle Academia. I think it's more the name than anything. If they would have called it anime lineup, because that's really what they look like, it's just anime characters. It's less Battle Academia and more anime, because anytime when I've been in a game and I've used Battle Academia Leona here and there, every time they go, well, you got the anime Leona skin, and I'm like, it's not Leona. Okay, yeah, it is. These are the anime versions of the characters. They need to change the name lineup and it'll work. And then Graves Sentinel skin, I'm just not a huge fan of the Sentinel skins, like period, and especially what they did to Pike. I mentioned this last week. Pike looks like Captain Underpants. I mean, literally, you put them up side by side, and that's what it is. He is Captain Underpants. Is exactly what it looks like. And then the last one here, you guys have Badger Teemo Ionia Yi, which I didn't even know was a skin. This got to be one of those older ones. And then Pool Party Lulu here. And what do you guys think on this one?
Listen, personally, I love Teemo. He's the only person when I get a skin shard of, or not a skin shard, a champion shard of. He's the only champion shard I have. I sell everyone else. But Fish on our team, he said he hates that little rat. Me, I personally picked Pool Party Lulu. I cannot stand her and her laugh, and that skin just makes it all the worse.
Bro, it's just Lulu in general. I hate that champion so much, man. That
You're
champion
wrong.
makes me just. I see that champion and I just tilt.
This skin is amazing, and you guys are wrong. My favorite one is
Pool Party Mundo.
My favorite Leona chroma in here is the one where you get the little Nemo hat on, and when I would get that, it would let me know who was up to speed, or actually who had kids, or pay attention to movies. Was I would get in the game with the Nemo hat, and I would go, "Have you seen my son?" And they would go, "What are you talking about?" I'm like, "I've got the Nemo hat on. Finding Nemo. Do you guys not? You guys are idiots." But that's a fun little chroma. I do like that. Ionia Yi, I hate Yi just as a champ in general. So yeah, I'm on board with this is let me do that. Yeah, this is horrible, and I'm indifferent on this Teemo skin. You said you like him, you use him because it's the skin chart that you've got. But I mean, it is at least a little bit different. It's not like Deadly Kinnan, not Deadly Kinnan, but what is it? It's just based on the chroma.
Is it just like Crimson Kinnan or something?
Yeah, Crimson Kinnan or something. It's just another version of Kinnan. Where it doesn't really look like it's a change. I think there's a few of the champs that have those too. So it's not at least that they've at least changed him somewhat. And I think for as sneaky as he can be, I mean, yeah, Badger almost fits with him, even though he's not. I mean, sits in a bush, waits, essentially goes invisible or underground if you want to, really go that far with the analogy. But he would, I think it would fit more for him being a Badger than anything. So I mean, I think your player is wrong. I think that's a good skin. So I think hey, we're gonna label this hot and put it as that. But that's gonna do it for this week, the Seiko special. Join us next week when, and I don't know why I agreed to this, we're gonna have a Mingo special where we have the Mingos Gold and Platinum on, and we're gonna have the censor button ready. There should be a lot of fun next week. Thanks for everybody for joining. Thanks, Luke, Lotus, and Hostega for hopping on here. Good luck with the rest of the split, guys. And we will see you guys later. Adios, everyone.